What was that? What was that? Do you think I'm happy with that? Do you think after that first half of domination, we deserve that? That was abysmal. We dominated the first half, we just needed the goal out of it. We conceded from a stupid foul that shouldn't have even been a foul. And they put in a good free kick. Should Balcom have got there? Maybe. Second goal. We can't defend set pieces. We can't defend free kicks. We can't defend corners. What in right mind thinks that is acceptable? And any Donny fan out there that thinks this is acceptable, look on yourselves. Reflect. We were in a title race. We still are technically in a title race because it's still that tight. We're in a top 6 race, a top 2 race, a title race. We can't afford to keep dropping points. As soon as Tom Anderson got injured at Fleetwood, our defence fell apart. And in that second half, we had less attacks than a Viking invasion. Absolutely ridiculous performance. Absolutely ridiculous. And you've got to analyse every single moment today. You've got to analyse every single moment to know that we were poor. Our defence could not cope with Ipswich at times today. Why is that? Why is that? Did we just fall apart? And we're screaming at them. We see it with our own eyes. We see bloody Enciala, who looked very uncomfortable at centre-back today for them, and Chambers, who's a converted centre-back into a right-back in that back line. We're seeing the likes of them in the back four. That back four for Ipswich looked very uncomfortable today. So we should have been going at them from minute 1 to minute 90. And there's one specific moment in the second half that really angered me. I see John Bostock on the ball. Most of them, if not all of them, should be making runs into the box. Runs forward, runs in front of him. Everyone stood still. I heard it on the commentary. They said, oh, we looked like we were 2-1 up and we were just cruising and trying not to, concede and stuff like that. We weren't even trying. We were 2-1 down. We ended up 2-1 down. And we looked like we couldn't be arsed. We looked like we couldn't be bothered. Absolutely rubbish. And the substitutions. It was great to see Coppinger come for his 800th appearance. It was great that John Taylor came on and scored a goal. But John Taylor should have come off for Okunabiri or Bogle. That should have been the change. It should not have been John Sims off the pitch. Because he was one of our bright sparks in that first half. 110%. Absolutely can't stand for that. Especially when we're in a title race. And a top 2 race. And a top 6 race. And now we're 2 points inside the top 6. Yes, we've got loads of games in hand on Hull. We've got a couple of games in hand on the rest of them. Lincoln lost today against Plymouth. Peterborough just beat Wigan. So we should have been looking at those results and saying, right, use that, inspire yourselves, and be ruthless. Test that back line. But we didn't. We absolutely didn't. And like you said, in the last 10 minutes, we showed no urgency. We showed no desire to get forward. There was only a couple of players that looked like they were going to go forward. Reece James, the only defender who wants to get forward, and John Bostock, who was trying to find the forward runs. But Lakilo stood still. Robertson stood still. Taylor stood still. Bogle stood still. They all stood still. It's like we were playing flaming musical statues. There was no music. It was just statues. Bring back the mannequin challenge, dead memes, etc. It was poor. It was absolutely poor. Don't think because we dominated the first half and spells in the second half that we deserve to get a point out of that. We showed no clinicalness, no urgency. We were dead. Like Jacob Marley in Christmas Carol, we were dead as a doornail. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, especially when we're in a promotion race. Absolutely embarrassing. And now Portsmouth, Plymouth, Crewe, they are all must-win games. Because if we don't, we're at the top 6. And we not might get back in. So a message to the defenders. Find that form when we won 9, I think it was like 8 games out of 9. Find that defensive format that we showed during that and get your backsides back into gear. Because that wasn't good enough today. No way am I accepting that. And shouldn't any Rovers fans be accepting that either. So before we talk about what we need to do on Tuesday against Portsmouth at the Keep Moat, thank God it's a home game, we've got to do player ratings, of course. So this is going to be interesting. So let's start with the goalkeeper, Balcom. I'm going to give him a 6. I think that there's not much you could have said from the free kick. The second goal, there was a bit of a glancing header off one of our players that sort of gave them the touch into the back of the net. So Balcom couldn't really do much. He did save a couple of others. And overall, again, his distribution just needs improvement. But overall, he couldn't do anything about the goals. We couldn't do much about the goals today. So I'm going to give him a 6 for that. Next up, I'm going to go with Brad Halliday. Brad Halliday. He gets a 5. And the reason why he gets a 5 is because there was a few mistakes in there. I saw a couple of stray passes, etc. Tried to get the ball through people's legs a couple of times, when in matter of fact, they knew you were going to do that. So, but overall, came forward quite a lot at times as well, but just okay. Nothing special. Anderson, again, I've got to give him a 5. I think that overall he tried to make stuff happen. He tried to go forward and things like that. But again, he was just him and Wright involved in that defensive mix, just not defending the corners and set pieces. Where was that defence from when we won 8 games out of 9? Where was that defensive form? Absolute joke. And we need to get that back very, very soon if we're going to want to get promotion. Right, I'm probably going to give him a 6, and that's only just. I'm being harsh, but I'm giving him a 6. But that's only just a 6, like a 5.95555. We're looking very specific here. But Wright gets a 6, only just. At least he came forward a bit more than Anderson. Reece James gets a 6 as well. Came forward, physical. Tempted to give him a 7, but to be honest with you, after that performance, there's going to be very few people getting a 7. Apart from that, below a 7. Looking at 6, 5s, even 4s today as well. But Reece gets a 6. He was one of the higher players today. I think he came forward quite well. Tried to make stuff happen. He was one of the only people coming forward in the second half for most of it. But apart from that, was alright. Bostock, he's one of the people I'm giving a 7 today. John Bostock showed physical presence. He showed determination. He showed a knack for coming forward. And overall, again, just tried to do stuff. But he didn't have the support from other people. Matt Smith gets a 6 as well. I think that overall just wasn't his best performance. Just very, very average. And that's saying it best. Tried to make stuff happen a couple of times, but just nothing really happening. Okunabiri, 5. Okunabiri, 5. I'm tempted. You know what? Scratch that. I was thinking 5, but you know what? After this, I'm going to change that rating to a 4. 4. He was poor. Absolutely poor. Didn't get his clinicalness. Didn't get his shots on target. Just made the wrong choices. Poor. And people say, well, you got an agenda against Okunabiri. No, I don't have an agenda against Fajiri Okunabiri. I just thought he was poor. Absolutely poor. And the wing is his best position. He's not an out-and-out striker. He is a winger. Yes, he can play striker and he can play there good on his best day. But he's a winger first. He's a wide forward. And that's why we brought Bogle in. I'll get on to him in a minute. But we brought in Okunabiri to play as that winger and we can play him forward if we need to. But he was poor today. We need to get that goal scoring form back into him. Get him providing, getting assisting, getting goal scoring again. Taylor Richards, I'm going to give him a 7. I think he was trying to pull Ipswich apart today. physical, demanded presence, tried to go for it. His strength was his key, kept the ball. One of the better players today. Josh Sims, I'm going to give him a 6, but again, tempted to give him a 7 today. Josh Sims, again, attacking physical presence. And overall, did quite well before he came off. And he shouldn't have come off, in my opinion. It should have been Bogle and Okunabiri coming off for Lakilo and Taylor. And I'd be trying Lakilo up front. He's got the pace for it. And I think he's got better finishing at the minute than Okunabiri and Omar Bogle. Omar Bogle, 4. Nothing on target. Hardly anything to him. Tried a couple of times, but that's about it. Didn't see any clinicalness from him whatsoever. 4. Some people might think these ratings are harsh for some people, but you know what? They're my ratings, and that's just my opinion. Onto the subs bench. Scott Robertson, I'm going to give him a 6. Again, just not enough, but you know, he tried to pass it about, tried to make stuff happen, but just nothing came off. John Taylor, I'm going to give him a 6 despite the goal. Really good goal as well. Good clinical finish. That is clinical finishing. And I said John Taylor should have started ahead of Okunabiri. And what did I say? I said Okunabiri was a risk. So why the hell am I... Why am I not surprised? I know Okunabiri's got the most goals in the club this season, but why am I not surprised? Okunabiri should not have been risked today. It should have been either Portsmouth or Plymouth he plays. Not today. And there's a reason why I said that. It's because I know that Fajiri wasn't 100%, despite the Blackpool postponement. I knew he wasn't 100%. And there's people saying, well, Fajiri should start. Fajiri started. How do you feel now? Now, but John Taylor provided something. James Coppinger, I'm going to give him a 6 as well. He tried to make stuff happen. He was wanting forward runs as well, but again, nothing happening. But at least he came on for his 800th appearance. At least he tried to show something. And then Jason Lakilo, I'm going to give him a 5. I think he was just below average today. And the reason why, and I know he just came on like towards the end, but the reason why I give him a 5 instead of a 6 is because, again, he just tried to make some runs and it just didn't come off. He wasn't making the best choice a couple of times. So he tried to make stuff happen. I'm glad for him to try that. But overall, I personally thought like he was only just below average today. So now what? What do we do against Portsmouth on Tuesday? We be clinical. I think Portsmouth drew 1-1 today with Gillingham. We can get at them. We can show them that we are no mugs. But the way we do that is we defend corners, we defend free kicks, we defend any kind of set piece, and we be clinical. You know, we've got, at the minute, the clinicalness of a snail trying to do a Rabona with a 20-foot football that Cristiano Ronaldo uses in his back garden. You know, that is our clinicalness right now. A snail is not going to do a Rabona with Cristiano Ronaldo's 20-foot football. He can't do that. We need to be more clinical than that. And like I said at the start, we had less attacks than the Viking invasion at times. It was poor. And we need to improve on that. If we're going to still be in a top 6, top 2 title race, then we've got to do better than that. And I know I'm going to get banter on social media now. I know I'm going to have Sunderland fans thinking they're Bayern Munich. I know I'm going to get Hull City fans thinking they're Barcelona. But they're not. They're not. And, you know, we've got to take the banter for the next couple of days. And we've got to come back fighting against Portsmouth. You know, Ipswich just did the reverse on us when we beat them the first time round. Do not let that be the case again. Otherwise, I'm really going to lose my marbles. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this match review. Stay tuned on Monday for the preview for Portsmouth. And for now, guys, my name's Aaron Chandler from Forever Football DRFC. Make sure you like the video, comment down below, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. Also, if you want to see me on other platforms, you can check me out. Sometimes I'll be on the Football Terrace after a Premier League match to speak neutrally about that. So if you want to see me on there, if you like seeing me on there as Sam Smith or the Donny fan, then go over to the Football Terrace, subscribe to them. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the preview on Monday for Portsmouth. But for now, guys, that is full time. Come on, Rovers. Do not let me down. Because today was poor.
Rovers!